Fatal error. How UPS Flight 1354 ended in disaster. It was a cloudy night at Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport when UPS Flight 1354 prepared for its final approach. The cargo plane, a majestic Airbus A300, had flown thousands of missions without incident, delivering goods across the country with clockwork precision. But this night was different. A series of human and procedural failures would soon turn routine into tragedy, leaving behind valuable lessons for all who would listen. Captain Eric Wallace was a seasoned pilot with over 2 decades of experience. His co-pilot, Sarah Daniels, was younger but no less capable, having quickly risen through the ranks due to her sharp instincts and technical knowledge. Together, they had formed a partnership built on trust and professionalism, a cornerstone of aviation safety. The flight from Louisville to Birmingham was a short one, and both pilots were relaxed as they approached their destination. But the weather was less cooperative. Heavy clouds blanketed the sky, and rain pattered against the windshield. Visibility was poor, and the pressure to land the plane safely mounted with each passing second. As the aircraft approached the runway, air traffic control cleared them for descent. The cockpit was alive with activity, with Captain Wallace focused on the instruments and Sarah monitoring external conditions. But as they descended further, something began to feel off. "Check the altimeter," Wallace said, his voice steady but tense. 2,400 feet, Sarah replied. Unbeknownst to them, they were lower than they thought. The terrain ahead rose unexpectedly, a crucial detail that had been overlooked in their approach briefing. In the flurry of activity, fatigue and over-reliance on technology began to cloud their judgment. The first warning came from the ground proximity warning system. Terrain, terrain, pull-ups. Wallace and Sarah exchanged a glance, the realization dawning too late. Wallace pulled the yoke, attempting to climb, but the response was sluggish. Seconds later, the plane's landing gear struck a tree, followed by the left wing grazing the ground. The crash was swift and unforgiving. Fire engulfed the fuselage as the aircraft broke apart. In the aftermath, investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, pored over the wreckage and flight data. What they found was a chilling combination of errors: fatigue, miscommunication, and a flawed approach plan. But the most significant factor was a lack of adherence to safety protocols. Captain Wallace and Sarah had both been working grueling schedules, leaving them fatigued during a critical phase of flight. The approach briefing, a vital step to ensure all potential hazards were identified, had been rushed. Compounding the issue, they had failed to question the autopilot's descent path, assuming the system was infallible. The crash of UPS Flight 1354 became a somber reminder of the human cost of complacency. 2 lives were lost that night, lives that could have been saved with better planning and communication. But from the ashes of tragedy rose a set of lessons that would resonate far beyond the aviation community. In the rush to meet deadlines and schedules, the crew had skipped critical steps in their approach briefing. This oversight proved fatal. The story reminds us that thorough preparation is not a luxury but a necessity, especially when lives are at stake. Both pilots trusted the autopilot system implicitly, believing it would guide them safely. However, technology is only as reliable as the humans who program and monitor it. This disaster underscores the importance of vigilance and skepticism, even in routine tasks. Fatigue impaired the crew's ability to think clearly and react swiftly. This serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of rest and self-care. No task, no matter how urgent, is worth sacrificing health and safety. Clear and open communication could have prevented the crash. In the cockpit, as in life, assumptions and unspoken doubts can lead to disastrous outcomes. Speaking up, asking questions, and double-checking can make all the difference. While the crash was a tragedy, it became an opportunity for growth. New safety protocols were implemented, and training programs were revamped to emphasize the importance of fatigue management and proper approach planning. Mistakes, however painful, can pave the way for improvement if we choose to learn from them. Years later, UPS Flight 1354 became a case study in aviation schools worldwide. Students learn not only the technical aspects of the crash, but also the deeper moral lessons it carried. Pilots and crew members began to prioritize rest, preparation, and communication in their daily routines. Outside the aviation world, the story of Flight 1354 inspired countless individuals to reflect on their own lives. Business leaders, educators, and families alike found value in its lessons, realizing that the principles of preparation, vigilance, and communication applied universally. For Captain Wallace and Sarah, their legacy was bittersweet. Though their lives ended in tragedy, their story became a beacon of change, saving countless others from a similar fate. And as each new generation of aviators took to the skies, they carried with them the hard-earned wisdom of Flight 1354, ensuring that such a fatal error would never happen again.